Right, thank you gentlemen for joining us for today's press conferences ahead of the final. Very pleased to have Kieron Pollard of the Trinbago Knight Riders and Daren Sammy of the St Lucia Zooks. Kieron, if we could start with you, maybe you could give us a bit of a rundown in terms of the tournament in general and how the squad's feeling as you head into this big game.
Well, it's plain to see, obviously. You've had a good tournament, thus far. You've played some, good cricket. We have, come in each and every time and try to improve as a unit. So I think nothing is going to change, come tomorrow. At the end of the day, we have reached thus far, so just one more hurdle for us.
Daren, same question for you. Thoughts on the team so far? How things are feeling as far as you head into the final?
I think we're in a good mental space. Coming into a tournament where nobody really gives you a chance, that takes the pressure off you. But like I've always said, within our group, there's a silent confidence that was there that, we have the players in these conditions that would go out and be effective. And yes, the Zooks team have really played as a unit, and we've really, put in some good performances, and I think that's why we are in the finals, and like Pollard said, it's another day where the team who plays better on that day, whatever you've done throughout the tournament doesn't matter. It's what you do on that day that will count. And we as a group, we believe in our abilities, and we believe that we could go and play a good cricket match against TKR.
Kieron, as you head into this game, you won 11 out of 11. Is that pressure or is that confidence it gives you?
Confidence. There's always pressure. Before you play the first game, there was pressure. Throughout the tournament, there'd have been pressure as well. From the time you get into a tournament and people sort of start to label you, there's always pressure. But at the end of it, I've played in finals, and for me, it's just another game because you have nothing to lose. There are 4 other teams would have liked to be in the position that both teams, are in. So I think standing position immediately. So it's just for us to go out and, as I said, play good, consistent cricket, and at the end of the day, the results, take care of itself. One good thing is that we have guys who would have played in, a lot of finals before, so we're able to settle the nerves of the ones who these things are new to. So, we look forward to it. Again, last year we were pretty disappointed losing in the semi-final, and made some changes, and we decided to come with a different sort of mentality this year, and it have shown on the cricket field. So it's just a matter, as I said, to jump that last hurdle, and hopefully be 4-time champions.
Sammy, similar question for you. Obviously, went into this tournament, not many people gave you much of a chance, and then as we head into tomorrow, I suspect that it will be TKR who considered the favourites. Is that pressure, or does it mean you go in and just enjoy the game?
Well, I see TKR as Goliath. They are the Goliath of this tournament. But like I said to my men, don't you forget David defeated Goliath.
How long ago was that?
That was a long time ago. But that's the confidence we have in the team. Everybody know before we left, from the time the tournament started playing, we said whoever has to win this tournament has to go through TKR. That was a given. You want to win this tournament, you got to beat, TKR, and that's what's left to do. If we want to win this cup, that's what we have to do. And they've played some really exciting, dominant brand of cricket. But like I said, we have that silent confidence in our team that we play well as a unit. They play well as a unit by dominance, and we play well as a unit by us pulling together and believing in ourselves. And I think it's a very good matchup for tomorrow. And hopefully, in this COVID time, we could bring out the entertainment that will ease the stress of the Caribbean people.
Obviously, both of you gentlemen have played each other twice so far, so a question for both of you. What are the lessons that you learned in terms of the games that you had against the Zooks or against TKR? Kieron, if you could go first.
When you look at it, I think they pushed us in that last game we played against us in Brian Lara. And again, what was evident for us is that, when we were pushed, we were able to stand up. So again, we're wary of each and every team. As I said, they coming into the final here with not much to lose. But again, having said that, it is ball against ball, bat against bat come tomorrow. I'm not one to go much into different things, but I tend to like to play my cricket on the day, and plan properly, and about a matter of come out and executing. So all these things count for nothing. Yes, we have beaten them twice. They'll know that they'll have psychologically that in the back of their mind, but it counts for nothing come in this game. So it's a fresh game, but he charged up. Looking forward to a good clash. Obviously, the two semi-finals were dominant by each teams, so hopefully it will be dominant by one, and that will be the team that on the right-hand side sitting here at the moment.
Depends on which side you're looking, because I could be on your right, But look, similar to Pollard, we know we've pushed them. I think they are wary about, the so-called unpredictability that the Zouks brings. But we have pushed them. We know if we get a few more things right, we could have beaten them. But yeah, like I said, you don't bring any of that to a final. Is how you play cricket on that day. And, we will sit down and plan and reevaluate how we could defeat them, look at our matchups against them, and it all comes down to the execution. It's a big final. They have an experienced team, like you said, guys who've played finals before. But if the mentality and the mental toughness that my team have shown throughout the tournament, that we don't give up until it's over, I know that could pull us through. And I know I'll have a full team believing that they could go out and play a good brand of cricket tomorrow.
Kieron, you guys have given a lot of exposure to homegrown players throughout this tournament. We've seen Akil Hussain, Curry Pierre, Tion Webster, Jaden Seals, and Amir Jangu given opportunities. Is that a deliberate ploy by you guys looking to the future as far as this franchise is concerned?
Yeah, of course. We found ourselves in a position where we could have get these guys into the team and into the tournament and give them that sort of exposure, because when you look at it and you look at what has transpired over the last 7 or 8 years in CPL, we tend to continue to keep recycle old guys, because we don't have that other tournament where we can unearth the young talents within the Caribbean. Not only Trinidad and Tobago, we're talking about of the islands, we're talking about Jamaica, Barbados. We had the Caribbean T20, now that's no more. So we have to find ways, and in tournaments, when you're trying to win a tournament, to give these guys the exposure and the opportunity. Akil Hussain would have come in, Tion would have come in, not expecting to play much games, but when you look at it, they have played 4 or 5 games and they have been the stars in what they have done. So we have the talent on the bench, just a matter of exposure. And again, Django has been with us for the last 2 or 3 years. He hasn't gotten an opportunity. This year he got 2 games. So hopefully, we can continue to breed new talent and give the Caribbean a sight of what's there to offer, so different franchises and different teams can select them. But it's very, very tough within a tournament to do that. So we found ourselves in that position, and we were able to give them, sort of opportunities as well. When I look at St. Lucia, Mark Diallo was with us last year. He played a couple of games only, but now he went on St. Lucia and he played over half the games as well. So we have talent, but there's one thing that is stopping us, and I think that's something that we need to look at if we about bringing up the youths and the future generation of West Indies cricketers.
Daren, from your point of view, you've had a number of Afghan players come in and do very well for you so far this tournament. Kind of the majority of your overseas have been Afghan players. How important is it for you that 1, they came, and 2, that they stayed?
Yes, it's very important. I think all teams, had the difficulty with COVID. The original squad that we had, couldn't come, and to top that off, Chris Gill was out of the tournament. So when you get Nabi and Zajan and Zaire, I always like to have the overseas players when they come over, at least to have somebody from that same country, to so that they don't feel isolated. To get 3 of them, there's still a brotherhood formed within the team. And to be fair, they've been really excellent for us. There was a thought that we might probably lose them. That would have been a big blow, knowing that we probably wouldn't be able to get replacement. But I'm happy that they're here and they've made a significant impact in the tournament for us. And I think this year the Afghans in the tournament have really stood up. It shows that the Afghan cricketers Afghan cricket is on the rise. But I just really want to echo the sentiments of what Pollard just said, in terms of developing youngsters through CPL. All of the leagues, even in the IPL, before the draft, there's a T20 competition where you get to see the local players. We don't have that. You find yourself selecting guys from the 4-day tournament, from the 1-day tournament, which is not ideal. When we had the Caribbean T20 and you had Windward Islands playing versus Jamaica, Trinidad, then you see the homegrown talent that you could further develop. So in that case, you don't, like Pollard say, reshuffle guys. And I think TKR, they have a good setup, where they could breed young talent. But that's not the luxury other teams have. And it's something in terms of further developing and breeding new cricketers that we have to look at in the Caribbean.
But having said that, you guys have had a couple of guys that have come through that are youngsters that have done very well.
Yeah.
Holly mentioned Mark Dial, Javel Glenn.
Yeah.
We've seen Kamani get a couple of games.
Yes, we have the emerging players. Each team have 2 of them, which is a good sign. When you in any setup, when you have young players coming through, it is always a good sign. Mark, probably if he was in TKR, he wouldn't get the opportunity he got. We did try to get him last year, but they used the right to match for him. But it's good to have those youngsters. And Javel Glenn, he brings a different type of energy. In whenever he has the ball in hand, it's like it's an infectious energy, positive energy in the team, and we need to unearth more talents like this, because we've never been short of talent in the Caribbean. It's just for the people in charge to pinpoint and identify and look to help develop that.
Question for both of you. We've had a bit of a mixed bag as far as pitches are concerned. Which would you rather, a low scorer or a high scorer as far as the final's concerned? Mr. Sammy?
Well, I want a win. That's the first thing. But obviously, in terms of the cricket side, you want a good wicket. So far, the second goal at the Brian Lara, the pitches, the batters can't complain about the pitches. I think the pitches have been good for cricket. We've just probably not played well, but it wasn't because of the pitch, especially in the second go around. I'm expecting a good pitch again tomorrow, where batsmen could go out and score runs, but yet the bowlers really have to execute their plans in order to contain them, because that's what the viewers want to see. But if I get to bowl out Trinidad for under 100 or score 200, I wouldn't mind that at all.
Yeah, for me, if I watch through the tournament, if I be a little critical, yes, the pitches hasn't been up to standard in terms for batting, but what I have seen as well is that the guys have not mentally changed their games to suit the conditions, and that is something that's not only happened us in CPL, but it's happened us in international cricket as well, because we can't complain all the time about the pitches and we're not changing as individuals. And I didn't see the mental fortitude of the batsmen throughout the tournament. In the other teams, in all honesty, with TKR, we have tried to adjust to the situation that has presented itself, because we have seen in some games we score 180 plus, but teams scoring 70 and 80, which again, there's a big disparity there. So I don't think sometimes wicket plays a big factor. I think is the mentality that you go into the game with, and that's something that from the word go, we threw straight out our dressing room. So for the younger players in the tournament as well, they haven't shown that they have what it takes at this point in time to adjust. And if we go to Australia, where the pitches are bouncy, what we will say, we don't get bouncy tracks in the Caribbean. We can't continue to make excuses. We go to Sri Lanka, where the pitches are spinning and stuff like that, we get bowled out. But we have these sort of pitches here, we still can adapt it. So I think a little bit of adaptability needs to come into play, as well, rather than look for the easy way out, which is an excuse. And I think that's what we have done throughout this tournament. And again, yes, for T20 cricket, you want where you're seeing 4s and 6s and stuff like that. It is what it is. We're in a situation where there wasn't sport going around, lack of preparation for pitches and venues and stuff like that. We were fortunate enough to come out and be able to play cricket, earn a living, and bring smiles onto people. So we just need to look at that aspect of it and try to go out and entertain with whatever is given. At the end of the day, we want a high-scoring final, we want a brilliant game of cricket, but it's just a matter of, I said, who plays well, and let's see what happens tomorrow. They want to bowl us out under 100, no problem, make 200, then we might as well not turn up to the final and let's give them the trophy.
Kieron, Pollard, Daren, Sammy, thank you very much and all the best for tomorrow. You got something else to say,
Yes,
Darren?
at this moment, I just want to thank, Michael Hall and his team, for, actually pulling this tournament off. We all had our issues and our concerns, when everything just started. But when you look at it, to actually have cricket going on right now in the Caribbean in these times, and just like Pollard said, to give cricketers an opportunity, to come and showcase their talent, but actually earn a living. I think we must commend the CPL and the team. And if I don't get to say it after that, I would just really like to echo my sentiments of appreciation for actually being here in this tournament.
Thank you. Cheers, guys.
Yeah.
Gentlemen.